Hello, my name is Frances Fox, and I'm a trained remote viewer. I have all my psychic skills trained. I was thrown around different parts of the world when I was a child. I was part of a secret program for mind expansion, human potential. There are ways to expand your mind, and I am here to offer you some of what I learned in retrospect so that you can have a more expanded mind. Um, at a time when it is very important, because when you don't, those dimensions, those areas that your mind never goes to because you don't know any better, you think it's bad, it's scary, whatever, you're you have parts of you living in those arenas that you would prefer not to have to deal with. So today I'm going to go start with something very personal. I just put in a text to the mayor of Coral Gables, Vince Lugo, I believe his name is, and last name I know is. And I let him know that members of the Cuban mafia, who are many of whom were part of the FBI and CIA, the weaponized part, have been waging a war against me to get me under control. They obviously don't want me dead, or they would have done that a long time ago. It's not the issue. The issue to be in possession of my abilities, which I worked with them for decades, not a penny. I don't talk about that a lot anymore. Maybe I've dealt with a little bit of my rage at that. But they have not managed to get me under control. And apparently, tonight, tomorrow, they're putting in a full force frontal attack. Ah, but it's black magic. So, why am I discussing this openly? Well, I'm not sure they're going to do very much once they know it's on a public forum. And I did let the mayor know that I would be saying it here. So, it's not a question of me being ignored. But why am I saying it? Because I'm trying to get you to widen your lens. If you do not widen your lens to include the spirit bodies of people that are human, and when they die, their spirit bodies can still be roaming around creating havoc in your family and your business on the planet. It's one of the reasons why Christ came, to try to take them to the light. All those aliens are spirits. What that means is that they don't have a physical body that they're using. They need one of ours. They call that possession, and they call it zombies. The reason the zombies have the very long, their arms are like hanging out like that with the clothing that they have on is because they're wearing clothing made for human beings with specific dimensions, and the spirits don't quite fit in. So they have the arms hanging and the sleeves hanging. I guess we could start wearing clothes with shorter sleeves so that when they take us over, they wouldn't look quite so gangly and so scary. Back to the issue. So tonight or tomorrow, there's a black magic attack on me, multi whatever. Um, and it always includes killing animals. I'm not sure that it's not also an international attack, because they have people in several countries, Venezuela mainly. The president of Venezuela, Chavez, did a lot of black magic. He even dug up their national hero to use some of his bones or whatever in magic to protect Venezuela. Now, you guys hear that and you think, no, 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 that's your problem. No, 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 no. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, all of those civilizations we admire, Egypt, and now I'm not going to remember the other names because I've been programmed not to remember names. They achieved things we haven't achieved today. And they were all into black magic, and you know that. You know that. You've read it, but you just kind of glaze over it. Do you really think that anybody gave that up? Because it really works. Back to me. Back to me. So they have something planned. What do they have planned? I don't know, but it includes neighbors. So that must mean that it's physical, because I'm not sure that the neighbors actually do black magic. I'm not sure that the neighbors have agreed. I'm not sure that it actually been approached yet. I have no idea. I'm just saying it in case something happens, that everybody should know where they can start to look. What do you look for when it's black magic? This appears to be more than just simply in the dimensions where you do black magic. Last night, all the lights went out in the entire building, and then they went on immediately. And then it turned out that somebody turned off my outside lights. They flipped the switch, but it wasn't because there was a surge. So, anyway, whatever. What is the point? The point is that you have an entire arena that is operating within life that you're not familiar with, you don't want to know about, and you want to wander around like, oh, wonder whether aliens exist. Well, yeah, they exist. They always have. You have a ton of information about them. It's in the Bible, it's on the walls of the caves, it's in Egyptian hieroglyphics. They even show helicopters, and you're still wandering around. I wonder, maybe you need to look closer to home. Maybe you need to look into your own life. Magic exists. I'm trying to teach you the power of intention to be so strong that it actually ends up creating something magical. Everything is created through intention. And when they do magic, they use rituals. Why? Because rituals focus intention and anchor it. In other words, to do something on the physical dimension when you're doing magic in the other dimensions is very powerful. Some people can just do it without any physical ritual, but most of them, even the really powerful magicians, need a ritual. They need an object. They need something. They need to put something in your food. One of the little tricks, and I did not think that I would ever say that, but you know what? I'm going to say it. What the hell? We're in end times, when revelations, a planet's going to explode, a nuclear bomb, whatever. The next plague. You know what one of their rituals is? They eat each other's feces. Oh my God. Well, that's been a practice since the beginning of time. In the Catholic Church, they eat Christ's flesh and they drink his blood in the Mass. What's the problem? What's the problem? Are you that delicate? Now, you want to become multiplanetary? Well, maybe you need to become multidimensional first. You're refusing to do that. You're not even taking good care of your spirit. So, what do they have planned today? Well, from what I could get from the people that I asked, and I have to be careful who I ask because I don't want them to get targeted, even though it doesn't really matter because these people, these enemies are on their way down. They are planning on cutting me up into pieces. Now, you're not going to find my body tomorrow cut up in pieces, but they do have a practice. And I'm not exactly sure what kind of object they use, but they learned, and it's very, very secret, and very few black magicians can do it, but they know how to cut you up at a level of structure without touching your physical body. And then you end up being all wobbly and not healthy, and nobody can find the black magic to clear it because it's at a very, very deep dimension. Okay, so have I said enough about this? I think so. So we will know that if anything awful happens, you should check my neighbors. You should check the house on the corner. I live on Madeira. You should check One Alhambra. You should speak to the mayor of Coral Gables. But I don't have any problem with everybody saying I'm completely crazy. I have no issue at all. One of the things that I have found is that not needing people creates a level of freedom that none of you know. My life has been so awful that I had to learn how to do this stuff by myself, even once I started to talk, because nobody believed it. So, does it matter that people think that I'm crazy? No, because it's 1,000 times a day that people say, oh my God, Frances was right. Oh my God, Frances said this. Oh my God, I told her she was crazy. She was right. And that will happen increasingly. So I don't have any problem. Should something happen tonight or tomorrow, the next day, I don't think so, because they follow me. They track me every second of every day. They know when I walk out. They know the restaurants I go to. If I go to a Cuban restaurant, they may talk the people there into putting black magic in my food. Can't go to a Cuban restaurant. Instacart. Can't order from Instacart because my phone is tapped. And they stand outside. And when the person comes out with my bags of groceries to bring to me, I have to assume that they give them a bribe. They take the bags and then they deliver it themselves once they have put their black magic into those bags of food. One time I confronted one of the people that came, and he didn't get it. I said, I want to see your license. Why? I said, I just want to see your license. You're delivering my food. I want to see your license. So he finally gave it to me. And then I said, but this doesn't match. I don't remember what it was. I said, this doesn't match your car, whatever. It was an identification. And he was like, he said, I didn't think you were going to do this. I said, well, I'm doing it. Did it make a difference? It doesn't make any difference. Maybe today it would, but a year ago it didn't, because they were in control of everything. So we're talking about a level of evil in this country, not a third world country, that is so pervasive and so subtle and invisible and outside of your belief system that there's no way you can defend yourself from it. And I'm going to say something now, and then if somebody cuts my head off, it probably won't be them. Maybe you need to know that, having to do with stuff that you're being required to take. Maybe you need to know more about this. Maybe your little delicate sensibilities that would prefer to stay very elegant, etc., and very intellectual on the physical dimension, maybe you need to shake that up a little bit in order to be able to defend yourself and your children. I have a university degree. I know that I'm bright. I'm not stupid. I've earned a very good amount of money in when I've had a business, which I had for many, many years. And even after that, I'm no dummy. I don't need this drama, because actually my life, if they could get the heck out of the way, would be incredibly exciting, because I'm into a forward movement, which has to do with this multidimensionality, has to do with the integration of this planet with galactic. I need them out of the way because I'd like for my life to be really exciting and interesting. And I'd like to be able to meet new people and not know that it was a setup, and not have to wonder if it was a setup. That would be really nice. So anyway, I have shared this. I worked with my group last night on this. We were close to 400 people. I can't tell you that 400 people could see what they were doing last night, but I could tell you that a couple of hundred of them could. You can see the chat if you know Spanish on YouTube. And maybe my case is a wake-up call for you to open your lens, because these are not stupid people, and they're part of society. As a matter of fact, they're an important part of society in Miami. Does everybody that support them know what they do behind the scenes, like eating each other's feces? I don't think so. I don't think so. Are they able to stand up to them? No. Everybody's afraid, which is what I'm telling you about the mind control. We all did things that were awful because guns were held to our head. And I believe that some of them have been going through that also. But still, I have to take care of myself. And if exposing them causes the thing that they're the most afraid of, I'm sorry. I tried to do this gracefully. They can't stand for their family to find out about it. When I say they eat each other's feces, I know they just want to throw themselves off a balcony, because some of them have apartments on a building here that have balconies. I know they just want to kill themselves. They can't stand that people would know that. Well, then why did you do it? Why did you do it? If you're ashamed, why did you do it? And if you didn't want to do it, I think you need to start confessing, and it will help us all. We're going to get off of that. I already sketched you, and this is what you look like. What's going on? Shock. This was before I started to speak. Very long mind streams, which means you're more thoughtful. You're thinking, you're thinking, you're thinking. We do have a very powerful full moon. Again, here we go back to the magic thing. Magic is done full moon, new moon, eclipses, solstices. So we have a full moon, a really powerful one, in a solstice tomorrow. It's a great time to take down Frances Fox. Oh my God, it's a great time to take her down. Well, what do you need to know about full moons and new moons? Everything's more powerful. People, doctors and nurses in hospitals, and also the police will tell you that people get nuts. So you can imagine people that are sick, how much sicker they get. What you need to know is that same push goes into the rituals. And all of you read your favorite ancient civilizations and the solstice, and the sun aligns with the entrance. And you're so proud of yourself. Oh my God, look, it aligns in the solstice. It's perfect. Okay. So, no, it aligns. So, it's not the point, the fact that it aligns. The point is what you get when it aligns, which is a lot of power. You're not getting it. You stop asking questions here because you're not multidimensional. You stop asking questions here because you think that this is the best civilization this planet has ever produced with all our modern. Wrong, wrong, and wrong again. Get over the arrogance. Get over your fear of the other dimensions. Get over your fear of magic. I want to teach you white magic. That's the reason why I was born. But for that, you need to understand that it does exist. And where have I learned the most about creation is through witnessing, when I remote view my clients, my family, myself, what was done to us by Black magicians. They really know a lot about creation. We don't. We're not taught that. And then they hide what they do, so we can't learn it very easily from them. But I got around that with the remote viewing. So this is how you look. Today we're going to talk about spirits. Oh, spirits and black magic. Black magic includes, I don't know if all of them, I don't know because I don't know, but Santeria, which is black magic. The roots are from Africa. Santeria includes, and again, I don't know if it's all of them, attaching a spirit to the ritual. And that spirit, here we go again, here we go. This spirit's bothering me and I start to itch and scratch. They attach a spirit and they give the spirit instructions. Now, what you're not getting is that in the physical dimension, you have time, you have measurement, inches, feet, yards, miles. You don't have that in the other dimensions. It doesn't exist. Time doesn't exist in the other dimensions. Everything is all at once. Oh, no, that's crazy. No, the craziness is how slow it is on the physical dimension. But I guess that depends upon where you're coming from. So anyway, so they attach spirits to the ritual, to the black magic, and that spirit's job is to make sure that that black magic sticks and stays. So, and I may have told this story before, but I'll make it really short. When I was investigating the Mayans, which I still am, what it is that they knew that they were able to go through the ascension process gracefully, I found that they knew that the Spaniards were going to come, maybe other people, and were going to burn down all of their libraries, if they had libraries, all their knowledge. They were going to get rid of it. And the Mayans wanted to ensure that today we would have the information on how they were able to evolve in terms of their souls, in terms of spirituality, the ascension process that everybody talks about, and that's kind of being measured by the Schumann resonance changes. They wanted to ensure it was available today. So, okay, what I found was that in northern Guatemala, and I'm sure they must have done it other places, in a city that was recently discovered called El Mirador, northern Guatemala, not Mexico. The Mexicans get very angry because they want it all to be in Mexico. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I can't change my information. They did black magic. They sacrificed 17 Mayan individuals and attached their souls to the ritual, which was the intention that the knowledge that they hid there in El Mirador in northern Guatemala would not be found, that it would be hidden. I actually know several of those people who have reincarnated. One of them is Mateo Cuaron, who does our Mantrista music. Ivan Lopez, that did almost all of our videos. Great artists, both of them. So, anyway, so these souls were murdered. Their spirits were attached to the ritual, which had the intention of hiding this knowledge. Okay, that's interesting, Francis. Yeah. Except guess what? That city plus several others were just recent could be 50 years. Remember Widelands history? That city was not discovered until recently, and it's been there 1,000 years, a couple thousand years. I don't really know. I'm bad with time, maybe because I'm always in the other dimensions. And what has scientists and observers said about that city and the other ones that are there? They go like this: how these are megalopolis, they're huge. How come nobody saw those cities till now? And what happened to the people? But mainly, why didn't anybody see this? Because it apparently is not like that deep in the jungle. And apparently it's not in some places remote that nobody ever goes to. Nobody had seen it. So the magic worked. The ritual worked. See? It works. In December, another group of scientists came back and declared their findings on these cities in northern Guatemala. And they said, we don't know what happened. There was no famine. There was no drought. They just disappeared. They ascended gracefully, which is what we would like to do, and which is what maybe I'm trying to teach everybody here to do. Magic works. Civilizations use magic. I consider that black magic. They murdered 17 people, and yet their intention was to safeguard information that, if we find it and use it, will completely change the history of the planet. Oh, yeah, but the scientists are modern. They go to university. I went to the university too. Well, but they're very intellectual. Hello, a lot of people consider me an intellectual. Yeah, but they're not like low class, superstitious. I'm not either. But I don't let my belief systems get in the way of reality, and most of you do. Your belief systems are dominating you, and they're not allowing you to flow with information. And it doesn't make for good scientists. A good scientist does not know what his conclusion is going to be when he does a scientific experiment. Most scientists are paid by people who know the conclusion that they want. You think that doesn't affect the results? That's part of the destruction of our society. How we have handled science. And we don't respect 5,000 years of witnesses and documentation of the power of the planets to influence us. We call it astrology. And you think that it is just single females looking for a guy that creates all of this interest in astrology. You're wrong. Behind the scenes, the most powerful people on the planet rely on astrology to help them make decisions on when would it be most appropriate to launch something, such as in a new moon. Don't launch something near a full moon because that's endings. Are you getting it? You don't have to get it all. What you have to get is out of your own way. What you cannot allow is your cultural inclination, your values, what they taught you in school, what your religion taught you. I'm not saying you reject all of that. No. I'm saying don't let it get in the way of something that is a reality that you can see, or that you know, we're not getting the whole story. I think I want to go beyond. Oh, my religion doesn't let me. Well, why don't they let you? Because they don't have a grip on it either. So why don't you go ahead and just walk around them, get to the other side, and start to ask questions and start to deal with people that do know about that. I have told, I have, through the decades, I have had clients that are very powerful. And one of them in particular was very bitter about the amount of money they had to spend in order to keep having black magic removed so that they could continue to move forward effectively. And I finally one day got, I didn't, I don't want to argue about money. You don't want to remove it, then don't. Don't, please. You go to the doctor when you're sick, and you don't get angry at the doctor when he finds something. And I don't go to doctors because I have other alternatives, but you go to the doctor on a regular basis just to check up, make sure you're okay. How about the other dimensional parts of you? Oh, and then we have the whole thing of the black magic of that the movie Matrix tried to warn us about. Implants. Throughout history, people haven't seen it. How come we have implants all over the place, all over our energy system? It's pathetic. So, oh, well, how do we know, Francis? You're the only one who could see them. That's not true. I taught the people in the Mantrista movement, and many of them can see them and are now removing them, cutting them. And they're not doing it because they're zombies that follow me. They can see, which is why I told you third eye. Got to get that third eye fully operational. Quit with that fluoride. The fluoride, yes, is a problem, but it's really, honestly, it's not the biggest problem. It's your belief system that's the biggest problem. And then after that, it is your unwillingness to see the darkness. If you're not willing to see the darkness, you're not going to want to open your third eye, because when your third eye is not open, you can choose just to see things that are light, people that are nice, things that are nice. When your third eye is open, you're going to see it all. And that's really scary. And most people don't want to be scared. So meanwhile, something scary is coming towards you. You didn't even see it. And then you wonder what happened. So tonight and tomorrow are very important for me, because I have a whole group of people around me want to take me down in the other dimensions, but there's something of a component on the physical. That's a little bit scary for me, but I called the mayor. And because my phone calls are listened to, I am sure the enemy already knows, and the mayor knows, not that he's involved in this, but just that phone call makes me safer. So the whole thing of exposure, putting things out there, talking about stuff, giving your children permission to talk about things, listening to them, even though you don't want to hear that their enemies eat each other's feces. Maybe these things need to come out. Oh, it's like the blood things that apparently a lot of kids do. That's really real. Don't let them do that. But then we got to go to the Catholic Church. Why am I eating the flesh of Christ? Why am I drinking the blood? And then you talk about cannibalism, pointing the finger at other people. What is that all about? That is like an inconsistency in the mind. This doesn't work for people, but it particularly doesn't work for young people, because they can actually see the whole thing. And they're like, wait a second, what is this? And then they learn to go like this. And then we end up where we're at now, when people are going like, I wonder, somebody told me today, well, the government is not talking about the aliens anymore. How much more do you want them to talk about? Well, but they were talking about it. Yeah, they were. They have for years. I personally know that they tried to let the American public know probably 20 years ago. And the public did not want it. They did not want the information. They've been asleep for too long. It's too scary. The public didn't want it. So I'm going to keep talking, but not today, because we're already at 29 minutes and I have another event after this. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to do, back to. So when they do black magic in Santeria, I don't know what the curanderos do in Mexico. They use the elements a lot. Their black magic scares me. I'm not that familiar with it. I can still clear it, but one day I need to take more time and actually with remote viewing witness what they do. But in terms of Santeria, santo means saint, okay? And spirits. They attach it. So anyway, last night when I was working in my group to try to get these enemies to stop whatever they were doing last night, because they started a couple of days ago on whatever it is that they're supposedly doing to take me down ultimately. And I said, you know what? Let's call up the spirit. And if this shocks you, I'm okay with it. If you never listen to this again after what I say now, I'm okay with it. I said, let's call up the spirits of all the animals that they ever killed for their rituals. And of those two poor young men that they murdered in Latin America for a ritual when they were fighting tooth and nail to take me and my Mantrista movement down about a year and a half ago. Let's call up those spirits and have them go after them. Kind of what they do when they do a ritual and attach a spirit to it to ensure. I didn't want to ensure anything other than to scare the living daylights out of them and maybe make a couple of them fall down. If one of the dogs that they murdered, the spirit got under their feet when they're walking and they can't see them, and maybe they'll fall down. And maybe some of the animals will get inside their ears and make them kind of crazy. Who knows? They're very creative. I just want for them to quit because this is my mission. I'm going to keep talking. It's not going to cost me my life. We've already checked. We look to the future. I'm standing there talking to all you guys. But honestly, I'd like to be able to make friends and go out and order from Instacart and go to a restaurant and not have to go, it's a Cuban restaurant, I can't go. It's all Cubans are not into that, by the way. I'm half Cuban, my family's Cuban, my grandkids are kids Cuban. But these people have a lot of power behind the scene and they threaten a lot of people. I don't think they're going to walk into an American or Greek restaurant and start threatening the cook because they're not going to get any place. Cook's going to say, what the hell's the matter with you? If they go into a Cuban restaurant, they might because they are powerful people in Miami. Now, I'm going to take a second and I'm going to listen to what it is that they are saying right now as they have listened to this event, because they listen, even my chats that are 2 hours long, they listen to every word. And by the way, there's several governments that listen to my chats. Maybe not so much anymore because I don't talk about the countries anymore because it turned out that that was kind of like a little bit dangerous. They still want to know what I have to say. But let me check and see what it is that they are saying now. They are not happy. They're banging. Well, I see desks. They're banging stuff on the desk. And they're calling me old lady puta, which means like a prostitute. They're saying I'm crazy. And they're saying hide all those papers, and I'm not going to continue. But my group, the Mantrista movement, they also check them and say when they have a fit, when they start to fight amongst themselves, because when this happens, they fight amongst themselves because they have their back against the wall. Now I'm getting bored of this subject, and I'm sure you are too. And it's now 33 minutes and 33 seconds. We're going to do the mantra having to do with you becoming a master, which means your third eye has to be totally operational because that's where superpowers are. That's where the ability to know everything, past, present, and future is, plus a lot more than that. So we're going to go ahead and do that mantra. If you'll give me a second, I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I don't have it up yet. Okay, here we go. This actually felt very satisfying to me to say this. I think I'm going to go to sleep less frightened because it is scary to live the way I live. But I'm not the only person that lives like that. There's a lot of whistleblowers out there, and I was never a whistleblower. They were the ones who caused all of this. I could have gone to the end of my days and not have to talk about any of this and just do my work. But they have not allowed that. So here we go. And let's get the music. So we're going to do 10 minutes. And this music stimulates your upper chakras. And if you have the ability to do more than one thing at a time with your mind, you can do the Om same time. Oh my God, they put a little thing there so I can now turn it off. I wonder if they did something with interesting. This platform is improving. Thank you. So you can do as you're repeating the mantra. Do not move the mouth with the words. You can move it with the Om, and then you'll be doing like a mental yoga. Okay? No, I am not sure how to handle this. There we go. Okay, we have finished, but I will show you. You did improve. You went from this. That's a lot of thinking and a lot of depression. And you went to this. Still depressed. These are not green. The mind streams, I would have loved green, but they're not green. But they're up and out and open. And these are spaceships. Now, why would I draw spaceships if they're not there? Why would I shoot myself in the foot or in the face? Because that makes it so much easier for you just simply not to believe me. I mean, come on, she sees spaceships above us. I have very heavy duty training in being a remote viewer, and when I say that I'm going to sketch what's there, I'm going to sketch what's there even if it's not to my advantage, because that's my training and that's my intention. So anyway, we will be back here tomorrow. I don't think much is going to happen tonight. But if it does, I will let you know about it. Okay? Thank you for joining me.